Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. So today we're going to be installing the dash cams. So there's going to be one main camera going out. There's going to be a camera facing inside to the passengers, and we're installing a camera facing out the back. And we're doing the VIOFO, what is it, A229? It's a 3-channel system. And now that we got the tint finally installed, then we can go ahead and install the dash cams. Because I didn't want to install them before we had the tint on the windshield, and now that the windshield and everything's done, we can go ahead and get started on the rest of the car. So here's the system. It's the VIOFO A229 Pro 3-channel, as you guys can see. So the main camera will probably sit on this side here, facing out. And then the inside camera will probably be on this side, looking in. And then I have to, let's determine which way the glass slides. All right, so the glass goes that way, and we'll put the camera on the driver's side and install it facing out. I guess, let's get started. All right, so first, I think I want to lay out where the cameras are gonna go before I start running any wires. Let's turn off the AC. Alright, we'll probably turn off the car too. Kind of already opened it up and checked it out and installed the SD cards, but here's a little bit of an overview of what the system looks like. Went ahead and got the power install kit too, so I can just wire it under the dash rather than have it plug it into the cigarette lighter. As a little bit of a background, I spent my early 20s through 30s doing show cars, building show cars at a local car stereo shop. I worked on a bunch of celebrity cars and athlete cars and whatnot over the years. And then I found a shop that also did home theaters and home automation, so I got into that. And our shop was really kind of just known for not doing any advertisement or anything like that, and just word of mouth referrals. So I think it'll live something like that. Let's see if any of those dots cover up the camera holes. Well, I think we're good there. Maybe come down a little bit. Yeah, like that. Tuck the cables up into the headliner and run it back around. Alright, this panel should just pull out. Won't be able to do it one-handed. Maybe one-handed. Yeah. Alright. Cable clipped in there. You figure what I get that out. What is this tether? Oh, it's just like a tether so it doesn't get lost. Alright, well it's out of the way enough that I can run my wires. So we'll just leave it out the way like that. Alright, let me get some tools. Alright, we got a couple of plastic non-marring panel poppers. The idea is the cable will route this way through this pillar. And so my next step is to pull this panel out of the way so I can work my way into the dash. Alright, that's all there was to it. Was this clip. And it just snaps in all along the way. And now I have a clear path into the dash. Alright. Now I may have to drop the dash just so I can get to power cables I need to. It looks like it's hinged down here. This most likely pops down. Maybe just one side since this piece is all of here. So it just may be this piece that comes down. This piece snapped out, so I'm just trying to determine if there was anything holding this panel in place. But 20 years later, cars have not changed. Still all the same. It's all just little snaps that hold everything together. Get that out the way. Yep. Yep. See? More just snaps. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now we've got more access. Alright, we'll just worry about running our cables for now. And then we'll go online in a little bit to see if anybody's got any shortcuts or found any 12 volt underneath the dash. Somewhere convenient. There is a guy on eBay that sells, there's a guy on eBay that sells a $40 plug that taps into the 12 volt that powers these lights and runs a short little cable to install the dash anywhere in this area. But I thought about buying it, and I asked him if it worked for the Ranger as well, because I'm doing the same setup in the Ranger, but he couldn't answer if it did or it didn't. So I just went ahead and bought the install kit from VIOFO, and we'll just tap into a good 12 volt and ignition. Alright, let's start checking out the cameras and start placing them where we want them. One of these has IR sensors built in, and that is for the interior camera. And the ones without the little IRs are for the rear camera. Alright, good to know. So first, I think this guy's gonna go here. What cables plug into it? Oh, micro SD on the left. Can I still get to it? Yeah, I can still get to that. Alright. And then the rear camera is out this side. And where does the interior camera plug into? And make sure I got all this figured out before I finalize placing the camera down. Probably should have read the instructions before I started, but okay, so I'm assuming this one with USB-C and USB-A is going to be your power cable. Because they're assuming you're plugging into a cigarette lighter. This one with a 3.5 plug, I believe, is the interior camera. And this one with two USB-Cs on it has to be the rear camera. And the rear camera takes a USB-C on the base, and it takes a USB-C at the camera. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so now I know I need to leave room for this interior camera. Okay. Should be good there. Yeah. Alright. Alright, I'm good with that. Or do we want it out of the way? Well, that's kind of pointless. We won't be able to see it. That doesn't look straight, but I'm lining it up with the top of the windshield. I'm sure it curves a bit, so I might just go with that. Let me just run all my cables first. It's probably the best idea. Get all my cables in place. Okay, this guy's a little long. I guess I can hide all that excess in there. So that one will be something like this. That's that. Okay. Alright, so there's way too much of this. Just tuck it back in here. Pretty much finalized this camera install. Alright, where's the one with the... Here. I'll go back in and cut all those tags and labels off. I wish there was a 90-degree angle on this one, but oh well. Maybe if I go like that, less obnoxious. All right, let's try that. No alcohol wipes. I was hoping there was something I could clean the surface with. Nope. Let me go get something I can wipe this down with. Alright, found some alcohol. Let's clean the area. Get some good stick. There. Maybe something like that. Alright, but to run the cables for those, I'll probably run along the top here, tuck it here, and then just run it all along the top until we get to the back. So we've already determined this window slides this way, so we're safe to put the camera, say like here, and it shouldn't get affected by the window opening and closing. Alright. So for this, the cable will probably come along here and then go over this rail to it. So you'll see maybe 2 inches of cable. There's no real other way to hide it. I could offset the camera all the way to one end over here where the cable's a little bit easier to hide. But the problem with that is then the camera view is completely offset to one side. So at least here, you're still kind of in the middle, which I think is better. So we'll just go with that. Alright, since there's no real hiding the cable, I can go ahead and just attach this, run the cable, and stick it to it. For this, I'm going to peel that off. Peel that off. That's good. Pretty much where I want it. Even. The camera is rotatable. So even if you don't have the perfect angle or you're not in the right place, you can rotate it up and down to get where you need to be. This is going to be the guy with the USB-Cs on both ends. I'm assuming the right angle goes at the base. So to keep it all clean up front. Yeah. So here's the top of it. And the USB right angle just goes straight up, out of the way, keep it nice and clean. Just tucking this USB-C cable along the headliner. I'm using some panel poppers to just push it above the headliner. I could just drop it, the entire headliner, but not really trying to get into that endeavor this weekend. Something like that. Alright, it's above the headliner. I just gotta work this corner a little bit. See, the cable goes up and over into that corner. And then I'm just gonna tuck it all along here. Now, if I ever got around to dropping the headliner and sound deadening the Maverick, I can go back and clean all this up. This area is not bad. It's where the headliner meets the top, and this seal kind of just covers all that up. So once you get it up in there, it'll just naturally just wants to go. This, just tuck and go. Okay. We just go up. So now, to determine how much slack is going to be left in all of this, and then pull it down and probably tuck it back in there just to hide some of the slack. All right, some of the cables are there. Route down here. Excess here. And comes all out here. So for right now, I'll just leave it like that. I'll clean it up and tuck it back once I get everything finalized where it's going to be. Rear camera here. Interior camera here. And then at the very top is the USB. All right. now that those are into place, let me finalize camera location up front. I guess I'm good with that. I'm almost done, guys. Almost there. I think just running the cables is the hardest part. It's hard to tell if it's straight because of the curve of the windshield and whatnot, but I think it's in there straight. All right, now we just start cleaning it up, install power, and test. See how I look, and then I will work my way. The back is finalized, that side's finalized. I will do this pillar and then power, and we're good. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see that panel. Snap back in. You wouldn't even know that there was a bunch of cables and running stuff down that side. All right, got the top part done. Now I'm cleaning up the wires down here. So let's see. This is the excess of the camera wire. I'll probably just roll this up, zip tie it, and tuck it back in here. It's good. In the meantime, I need to figure out my routing for this power cable over to the other side of the car. First, I'm just gonna work on the obvious. Just getting it over. This will tuck down here. Okay. So now, figure out how I get up into the dash. Let's get the seat back. Alright. A little bit of car yoga. Okay, so I found the cable. Alright. So this out of the way. Alright, so while you're doing this, you don't want it in the way of the pedals, so let's keep it out of that too. There's some AC stuff. Keep it above that. Get it over to the center console. And now I'm kind of just tucking it back here. Kind of just reaching around, seeing what I can feel. It's like above the carpet and behind the center console. I'm gonna kind of start shoving. It feels like there's a space kind of above the transmission tunnel underneath the center console. Kind of just feeding some cable into that space. I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to feel it on the other side. So let's just shove some cables back there and hope for the best. All right. So far so good. Even try to show you. So the cables were coming out of this hole. I kind of just routed them across here. Then I went under the seat here on the floor. When I reached up here, I'm trying to see. Like you can see my hands up here. So I kind of just grabbed the cables, routed them across, and down in here, I tucked the cables. You can feel above the transmission tunnel and underneath the center console. Shoved a bunch in there. Now I'm gonna go to the other side of the car, reach in there and hope that I can find some cables. Floor mat's a little warm. It's been baking in the sun. Let me get these out of the way. Okay, there's a panel for the fuse panel. Pull those out of the way. And You know what? I found the cables. Alright, there it is. Found it. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see. Tucks in here. Tuck that in the console. Yeah, I was able to tuck it in the plastics. Tuck the excess down in here. I wonder how long my wife has been looking for her Apple Watch in this brush. Hold on. Okay. So that's cool. So the install is pretty much complete, guys. What do you guys think? Here, let me put everything back together. Fire up the camera and get them sorted and pointed and let you guys take a look. Alright, so I'm going to leave these extra stickies in the center console. Let's go fire it up. Alright, let me put all this stuff back together. Well, let me grab a zip tie. I had this excess. Here. I just used one of the wire ties that came with the kit. Now we just put it back together in reverse order. Let me pull this out of the way. You'd be surprised how many of these cars just pop apart. And that includes high-end cars. Bentleys, Lambos, they all come apart, put together the same way. And when it says it's hand built, oh, it's even worse. The problem with those is it was almost, they were put together but they were drunk or something. Every screw is already stripped. I will say that Ford has definitely gotten better. I used to always tell the quality of the car by the ability to take it apart and put it back together without anybody knowing how well it was engineered. So I took this off first, kind of just reaching in there at this area, maybe use a panel popper to give you an edge to pull. And then I used the panel popper along these edges to pull it out. So they were just like those snaps. And then down here, there is a long plastic, it's almost like a screw, but it's just a bunch of ribs along the side that hold in with tension. And once you pull that out, you have access to run the cables in. But if you want to remove this panel, you got to remove this guy first. This kind of, you can just, another panel popper, just reach in there, pops out easily. And then this guy pops out too. I didn't bring any tools out. All I grabbed was a panel popper. And then, here, I'll show you exactly what I used. Use these guys, these panel poppers. I grabbed these two picks. My right angle, the 90 broke, so I grabbed this hook and a 45. I really wanted a 90, but this hook worked okay. It got me, I was able to pull down the headliner in the back to tuck those wires. All right, let's see what it's like. The AC going. There. powered up, plastic off. Say English. So I'm gonna use the GPS buttons. Time zone, GMT. We're in CDT. Oh shit. I think it's what, +6? So right now +5. Your dash cam will automatically set the time and date when a satellite signal has been received. Okay. Speed units, miles per hour, kilometer per hour. Clearly, I'm going to be using miles per hour. All data will be deleted. I guess we're formatting the micro SD card. Yes. Okay. Formatting card. Alright. So let's see. Everything needs some adjustment. Let's get the instructions and figure out how to adjust these cameras. Let's see, the front camera is upside down, the back camera is upside down, and out of the dash is pointing way up. So there's a microphone you can turn on and off. Now I probably leave that on. Occasionally my wife will transport patients from one place to another. I'm going to leave the screen on just so I can see it. So I'll leave the microphone on just in case. Did the satellite pick up date and time? The camera on the front you can just pull down to adjust. I think you got to do it through a phone. Alright, so downloading the app. Alright, now let's open up the new app. So let's first start with any software updates. I can see where the firmware is, but okay. So I guess it's not. You got the time and date set up. HDR is turned on. There are a ton of settings. It's much easier to do through the phone. I don't think it's possible through the camera. Interior camera on, infrared, auto. LED status. I'm going to turn them all off because they're going to be annoying. Okay. What's parking mode? Let's just do auto event detection. So maybe when something's in parking, I'll have to sit down and read through the instructions. Ah, here we go. Rear image rotate. Let's see. There we go. That's right. Now, interior image rotate. How about mirror? There we go. Well, no, I don't want a mirror. Yeah, okay, that looks right. I was trying to figure out if I needed the mirror or not, and I'm trying to picture in my head. Yeah. Let's see. Voice control, voice command, take photo. Okay, so you can tell it to do stuff. What's privacy mode? It's on now. GPS, screensaver after a minute. Let's change the password and turn on the Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi connected.
Alright, so password reset worked. Let's go back to the app and see what other settings that need to be changed. Okay, so the front camera is 4K. The rear camera is 2K, and the interior camera is 1080p. It's also HDR. So I thought about the, what is it, the one everybody's doing right now? Was the Wolf Box, the one that replaces the rear view mirror. And they look nice, they're handy, they get stuff off of the mirror. But just based off of some YouTube reviews and what I've seen, I went ahead and went with the VIOFO A229, or yeah, 229 Pro 3-channel. I got the same for my Ranger Raptor as well. I don't need voice notifications. I don't need to know what camera models or logo. Do I need an HDR stamp? I don't. Just trying to clean up the image. I don't need it cluttered with a bunch of like unnecessary information. Removing some of that stuff. Put a custom text stamp on there just so we can identify that this is from this car, the Maverick. We've nicknamed it B-Rex. Since I have a Raptor and I have nicknamed it Reptar from the Rugrats. And this is green and it's smaller. She wanted something dinosaur themed too, so we named it B-Rex. Alright, I think everything's good now. That's what the camera looks like on my phone. This is just the front dash looking out. Interior cam. Looks pretty good. And this is the exterior cam looking at the back. It's also going through 30% tint on top of the factory tint. So it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So here's what it looks like day-to-day driving. You can switch between the cameras. For now, I'll just leave it on all three up like that. Kind of out of the way. Put it down, you don't even notice it's there. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I like it. Hopefully the wife will like it too. Hopefully you guys like it too. If you guys like the install, you guys appreciate these kinds of videos, and you want to see more of it, and you want to see something similar in the Ranger Raptor, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when the new videos come up. And I'd really appreciate a like. Alright, thank you guys. Have a good one.